Hey everyone, it's Emily Williams.
Hey everyone, James Williams here. So we are here, day 3 of our little Facebook Live challenge, talking about everything coaching and business and inspiration. And today we are coming to you with some coaching mastery. What it takes to be an amazing coach within your business, within your life. We're going to be making a bit of a shorter one today, but it's going to be some really great stuff. So stay tuned. Comment below. Let us know that you're listening and that you're live, and say hi.
Yeah, and if you're watching the replay, we'd love for you to type in replay and share where you're listening from. And if we have coaches live on the line, I'd love for you to comment below and just say, hey, I'm a coach. And we're going to share some incredible information about really becoming a masterful coach today in terms of the skill set, but also the high performance. Hey, Lynn.
Hey Lynn.
Lynn's here. Lynn's one of our incredible clients. She does amazing work.
And an incredible coach, by the way, like
And an incredible
a rock star coach.
Yes. Cool. So what I want to talk about first of all is this hang up that new coaches have around whether they actually can be a coach. So oftentimes people think that they need to have had like a decade of experience before they can call themselves a masterful coach, or they wonder if they need to go through certification program after certification program before they can put themselves out there. And I see this especially with women. So there's a study that I love in the book called The Confidence Code by Claire Shipman and Katie Kay. And it talks about how there was a study done at HP, I believe it was, Hewlett Packard, about how oftentimes men will feel like they are ready to do something or apply for a new job or just go for an opportunity, even when they're only about 60% qualified or ready. Whereas women need to wait till we're 100% qualified. And that really breaks my heart because think about how many opportunities we're waiting to go for until we get to that 100%. And the truth is we probably never get there because we don't always feel 100% capable of something. And I just really want to have you ask yourself today, is that you? Are you waiting until things feel perfect? And what we tell our clients is most of the time when you catch that coaching bug, you've probably been coaching in some form or another your whole life, whether it's with friends or family or in a current job role. And so you have a lot of skills and abilities that you can bring into your coaching business right out of the gate. So even if you're a step or 2 or 5 ahead of your ideal client, you can help people. And here is a simple example of this. So when I started I Heart My Life, I had never been a coach before, but I knew that I had life experience through my own quarter life crisis, figuring out my purpose, finally getting clarity that could really apply to what a lot of other women were experiencing. So I knew that I was that step ahead of that woman who was currently in the quarter life crisis and didn't know how to get out of it. And that's what I'm talking about. So where are you a step ahead of that ideal client?
Yeah, and what's really interesting is even when you start, you know that there is someone that hasn't managed to get to where you're at in your mindset, in your development. There's someone out there that could really use your mentorship. Even if you haven't been taught the skills of a coach yet, there's someone out there that you've mentored, that you've supported in your life before. And, and I think that's a really important thing. And like understanding what your strengths are, we've learned recently, over the last few years, we've learned that a strength isn't necessarily something that's a mastered skill. It's something that energizes you. And so as someone who wants to be a coach, you just need to figure out how do you leverage that. And I know for me, deciding to go into the coaching industry was purely for the love of personal development and for the love of mentorship. And really, I figured out through high performance that was my tool of leveraging what it was that I already was doing at a lower level, but what I was already doing. So this call really is about how to leverage what it is that you already love and make into a career and make into something that's a passion and a success project.
Yeah, and I think the first step is really just getting started. So recognize what it is you love doing and what you've experienced in your own life that can help other people. And although I truly believe in getting some experience as a coach and working with people who have come before you and learning the ins and outs, you don't actually have to have a certification to be a coach. And so that's something that a lot of people aren't sure about, but I just wanted to tell you that. So even if you aren't qualified, you can still start coaching. Now, again, like I said, I recommend working with mentors and people who have been there and done it. Like us, we always have mentors. I actually learned how to coach by being in group programs and having coaches myself. So even someone we worked with last year, Marla Mattinson, she helped us on our relationship. She's a relationship coach for entrepreneurs. I learned so much about coaching by working with her because she has so many different skill sets to, attracting high levels of wealth, to going deeper with your spiritual practice, just to be learning how to be in your power as a company owner. I learned so much by working closely with her. And so just know that you can get started now as you are and take your life experience and what interests you and anything you've been through and overcome and apply it to the work that you do with your clients. And so just get started. And it's just like anything else. So once you graduate from university, I know at least for me, I can't even really remember what I learned, if I'm being honest. I got a psychology degree. The intention was there to go and get my PhD. But I also know that even if I had gone through that decade of schooling, I would have learned so much by working with clients. And that's what I think a lot of people forget. They forget that so much of what we do in our life, it is on the job learning. And it's the same for starting and growing your business and growing as a coach. So if you start where you're at, you will develop, you will get better. The coaching mastery that I have now is not what I had 4 years ago. It was much simpler in terms of what I offered. Now I can go deeper with my clients and I can offer more of a range of expertise because I've been there and done it. And so it's the same for you.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Okay,
yeah.
So moving on from there.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I wanted to point out. So just get started and you'll grow and you'll get better as you move forward, but definitely get the support that you need and just recognize that it's out there for you so that you can compress your timeline as a coach. You can get better faster and you don't have to guess at it. And the best way to do that I found is just to work with a coach, be on live group calls, a program that offers you the opportunity to hear a coach coaching other people. That will be a fast track to the success that you want. And we're actually hosting a webinar tomorrow to talk all about our iHeart coaching program, which offers just that. All you have to do to be able to get access to the private webinar is go to ihmltopcoach.com. So that's a really great option for all of you new coaches out there. And even people who already have a business and you want to take your coaching mastery to a whole new level, because you will get to hear us coaching me twice a month for 2 hours at a time and James once a month for 2 hours. So that's 6 hours of example coaching in the program, plus a whole resource bank of previous coaching calls, example coaching sessions, example discovery sessions. So everything that you need to get that training that you desire to be a top coach.
And just remember that at any point of your coaching journey, you will always feel like you could do better. Always. Whether it's the beginning or halfway through or, every single coach. And that's why a good coach always finds more mastery, because there's always somewhere to go. And so never feel like where you're at is a reflection of where you can go, because you can always take it to the next level. So take advantage of all the materials that you get from a program like ours. Take advantage of it, because there is nothing better than learning from listening to how other people do it. But then crucially finding your own voice. That's a really, really important point, actually.
Yeah. And the other thing I want to share is coaching can be really simple. And I don't mean that to detract from anything I've learned over the past 4 years or all of the people who have spent decades, really refining their practice. But what I mean by that is that it's as simple as asking questions. And what we believe as a coach is that our clients have the answers within. And your job is to bring them to the surface. And if you think about it, like the two of you are rowing in a boat next to one another. You're not ahead. You're not swimming in the water. Like you're right there beside them. And that's what coaching actually is. And a lot of people get confused and they say, well, I don't know if I'm a teacher. I don't know if I'm a consultant. I don't know if I'm a coach. And I actually consider myself all of the above. There are times where I'm coaching and I'm asking questions and going deeper with the client. And there are times where I'm teaching. So if someone says to me, I don't know what to put on my landing page, I'm not going to ask them a question about that. I'm going to tell them what I recommend. And so you get to decide what coaching looks like for you. If it's a combination of consulting, teaching, and coaching, then awesome. Make this your own. I really want you to give yourself permission to do what feels great to you. And also recognize that as a coach, your job is to ask questions, because your client has a lot of answers within. And when you start to approach your sessions with that mentality, with just a curiosity instead of a pressure, then you will be able to serve your clients at such a high level. The mistake a lot of us make is we assume we know the answer for our client, or we go into a session thinking we know exactly what the client's going to need, and we're not open to the process. We put a lot of pressure on the end result. And trust me, I even wrote an email this week about how I still struggle with being too attached to our clients' results, because I want so badly for them to be successful and for them to see all of those big shifts. And at the same time, when I put that pressure on the client and myself, it doesn't serve either of us. I need to recognize that everything happens in its own process and happens as it's meant to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so hard. I still struggle with that at times, being attached to the outcome. But there is, I think Marlo actually taught me this. There is, if you're really caring about the relationship, then focus on the relationship in the future, the relationship with the woman or the man that you've helped progress and get to another point. And I think that's really important. Sometimes during a session, sometimes when you're mentoring someone, you're quite often coming up against their ego, and that doesn't always feel good, and it's tempting to back down.
Yeah, I always say I'm more about your growth than your happiness. And so there are times where our clients want to punch me through the computer, I'm sure, because I'm telling you the real truth. If your clients wanted another friend, then they would go and get another friend. They're looking for you to hold them accountable and to facilitate growth in their life or in their business or whatever it is. And so that's your job. Your job is not to create happiness, although obviously we want our clients to be happy. It's about holding them accountable to the results that they said they want, speaking the truth to them, and be more about facilitating growth than anything else.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'll turn it over to you.
So how do we get there? And I think, as I shared a moment ago, one of the biggest lessons for me was how to not get so attached to the relationship between client and coach that you actually hold back, that you actually end up telling your clients what they want to hear rather than what they need to hear. And so I think one of the biggest lessons I learned here in terms of how to support that journey is to remember that ultimately as a coach, you're there to support your clients' progress, right? To support them in progressing to the next level in their life, whatever that may be. And that starts off with a really crucial element. And that, because when a client first comes in, it's taken a lot for them to ask for help for a start, or ask for support. And so I think the very first thing is to get them to a place where they're allowing themselves to be vulnerable with a stranger, with you, this brand new person in their life. And so that starts with acknowledgement. It starts with really acknowledging them for where they're at, not only for the struggles and the realities of their life right then, but also for the successes, the things that maybe they've either forgotten about or aren't really paying that much attention to. There's so many successes throughout our lives, daily, big and small, that we get to recognize and stack that confidence shelf in the back of our minds, right?
I like that, the confidence shelf.
Yeah, I see it as, in our minds we have three rooms, right? We have the past, habitual library, everything we've ever done and seen and heard, and our future creative workshop where we go and we plan and we create visions for the future. But ultimately, it's here in the present that we make progress. It's here in the present that we take action. But we create confidence in that library where we stack confidence. And so allowing your clients to open up means acknowledging where they're at, acknowledging their successes, acknowledging their struggles. And when you do that and you make them feel heard and you make them feel like maybe there are some more successes there that they haven't been paying attention to, they open up. They're more vulnerable. They're more willing to listen and go on the journey with you. And it's at that point we change tone. And we start getting excited for the possibility of where they can go in the future. And this is where we stoke their ambition for a future that is not only an imagination, it's not only a dream, it's something they can actually create. And that's done with the way the tone of our voice, the way we speak, how excited we get on the phone. And so ultimately,
we believe our clients are capable of anything.
Yeah, any of us are capable of anything. Mm-hmm. The only thing that's going to stop us from achieving what we desire is us. Is the blocks we put in our way, is how we react to fear. And so ultimately as a coach, it's your responsibility to acknowledge, support and stoke the ambition of your clients to start thinking bigger. And I think
that, like you just said, when it's about how they respond to fear. And so often we will see things come up for our clients. And I have like this BS radar now that kicks in when I know someone is making a decision from a place of fear or telling me what I want to hear or lying to themselves. And that's something that will happen over time. You start to really get an ear for, when your clients are in that place or when they're responding from a place of fear, when they're letting fear make their decisions. And again, I just want to reiterate, like, that's not something that happens overnight. It happens with practice.
Yeah, and don't forget, fear is false evidence appearing real.
Yes.
Because fear is something that exists for a future, right? You can't be afraid in the present moment. So if you're afraid of something happening, it's in the future. And guess what? The future hasn't happened yet.
It may never happen the way you're envisioning it.
Right. And so when you really think about it, to be afraid of something that hasn't happened, even if you think it's really likely, if it hasn't happened yet, you don't have to be afraid of it. And even if the fear's there, you can still move forward. That just takes courage. And that's where your coach, or as a coach, you get to support, hold accountable, and allow and support your client in realizing their ability to bring forth courage and energy and just go forward.
Yeah. And I just want to reiterate one thing and point it out in a different way. I mentioned that so often we really take on our clients' failures and even successes. But when we do that, or when we make it about us, it actually means that the client doesn't get to have the experience. And so say a client is really upset about something and they do want to punch you through the computer, or there's something really challenging going on. When you try and comfort them, or you be the cheerleader, or you make it about you, that means they don't get to experience the process. They don't get to experience the transformation. And so your job is to hold space for the client. And that's one of the most beautiful experiences. And of course, it takes time and practice to know how to do that. But again, I really want to reiterate, this is not about you. It's about the client and their growth and transformation.
Right. And that's really important, because we're all growing, all of us, every single day. There are things that we still struggle with, that we want to grow past. And, I think a good coach grows for life, and a good coach is is a student for life, and has that student mentality, and recognizing that they're really proud of where they are, recognizing still that there's further to go. And that's how you continue to serve every single day.
Amazing.
Great.
Well, that's our training for today. We wanted to keep it short for all of you watching. I saw Carmen on here. I saw Judy. So thank you guys for being a part of this training. I'd love to see any of your feedback or thoughts around what we shared. Hey, Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer.
Awesome. Yeah, so we'll be reading all your comments and questions over the next day or so. But again, reminder, apply now at ihmltopcoach.com, because our private training, a webinar we've never hosted before, is going to be tomorrow, May 17th at 5 p.m. British time, which is 12 p.m. Eastern. We'd love to see you there. So just go to ihmltopcoach.com to apply now. We're also going to share more information about our signature coaching training program, iHeart Coaching, and give you a special opportunity that's time sensitive and just for those of you who have applied and qualified for the webinar. So we don't work with everyone, and not everyone will get a spot on this webinar, but we'd love for you to apply and see if it's the right fit for you. And our team will be in touch as soon as you apply to let you know. And we'll look forward to speaking to you tomorrow. And thanks to everyone who was a part of these past 3 days of Facebook Lives. We loved it.
Yeah, it's been amazing. It's been really fun. And we've had loads of amazing comments. And I don't know about you, but I am really pumped for tomorrow's webinar, because it is full, jam-packed of value. It's going to be awesome. So we hope to see you there. And if you feel like you want to see Emily and James doing Facebook Lives again, just let us know.
Yeah, we've had so much fun. We are going to do it again for sure.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. But we'd love to hear if you have any future questions or any new episodes you want to see. I guess I'll call these episodes. Any topics you want us to cover, definitely comment below. And we'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Take care.
Bye, guys.